समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Okay, so we start verse 27. इच्छाद्वेषसमुत्थेन द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप. It says, by the delusion of the pairs of opposites arising from desire and aversion, O Bharata, all beings are subject to delusion at birth. O Parantapa, scorcher of foes. In my previous talks, I had explained this term Parantapa. Parantapa means a scorcher of foes. That means who destroys the enemy, who destroys his adversary. So that was the title of Arjun. Another one is he says he calls him Bharata. Bharata means the descendant of Bharata. वो तो खैर है भारत वंश का descendant. But Bharata, even the name of India, Bharat, is you should know the meaning, which I have explained before also. I'm speaking again for people who are listening for the first time. Bha means light, light of knowledge. Okay, so bha means light of knowledge. Anything with bha, bhasate, the word bha means light. So here bha rata, rata means reveling in. So those that revel in knowledge are called Bharata. So the name of the country is very beautiful. Bharata means the abode of those people who revel in knowledge. Okay. Now, see what it says, by the delusion of the pairs of opposites arising from desire and aversion. So, if you do not have any desire and any aversion of any sort, supposing you have developed that kind of an equipoise, if you have developed that kind of equipoise, you can call yourself absolutely one with Paramatma. But that is not true, because even at birth, he says, look what he says. He says, at birth, you are born with this. Otherwise, आपको शरीर नहीं मिल सकता. You know, the human body is made of elements. Your DNA, your mental makeup, everything is according to your desires, your likes and dislikes, which are determined from birth, as you can see even in children. Haven't you seen in children that one child likes milk, the other child does not like milk from childhood? Another child, jo hai, he will easily eat a medicine. The other child will not eat medicines. He is averse to eating medicines. हाँ? किसी को कुछ है तो किसी को कुछ है. So likes and dislikes. Some children very easily will give away their toy. Others will snatch at it and say, no, this is mine and I won't give it to you. Right? So, you know, these kind of things. So this is by birth. So if it is by birth, then the question arises that means that there is no solution to this. There is no way you can overcome likes and dislikes. Does that what it mean? Okay, it is a manufacturer's defect. At birth means that you are born with it and you can do nothing. Certainly you are born with it, otherwise you cannot get a sharir. शरीर आपका तभी मिलेगा जब आपके likes और dislikes होंगे. You have vasanas, you have desires which you want to exhaust. Your body and mind has to play out those desires in life. Your body and mind has to live out those desires in life. That is true. And that is the reason why you have taken birth. All bodies are formed according to what that individual wants to do in life. Your mental capabilities, hmm, your there are some skills you very easily acquire. How do you acquire? Because you have a past record. From past births you have been doing the same thing, so very quickly in this life, very quickly you learn. Gurudev used to give examples of a typist who would who was a typist, then she got married, she left typing, brought up her children. The children, when they were old enough, they went out to study, then they got married, went to their homes. Then she said, let me again try out typing. So 1 or 2 days it took her. She had thought she had forgotten it. Picked up speed like anything because Purva Abhyas. Purva Abhyas means what you have learned previously or what you have been doing previously comes very easily to you. And that is why in the next birth, you are born with similar kind of tendencies that you had in your last birth, similar kind of desires, and similar kind of likes and dislikes also. Hmm? So here he says, that is why he says at birth, all beings are subject to delusion at birth, O Parantapa. And he says that by the delusion of the pairs of opposites arising from ये उत्थेन, ये जो है ना इच्छा द्वेष सम उत्थेन, they are born out of iksha and dvesh. Desires, it is uh, you have desires also and aversions also. So born from those are the pairs of opposites that come to you in your way. Your ego is also made up. Your ego means your I personality is also made up of likes and dislikes. Hmm? And you can easily detect it yourself. You can detect your ego very easily when you are agitated or unhappy. This is from Ramana Maharishi says that this is a very easy way to detect your ego when you want to find it out. It's very difficult to catch your ego because you are so mixed with it that you cannot separate it. But if you are a cautious, discriminative person, then you can easily catch yourself immediately. The moment you are agitated or you are unhappy about something, and when you are tossed about by polarities, understand that it is your ego personality that is being hit by some aversion, and that is what is hurting you. So, here, so it is like this. Okay, now what we do is everybody, according to your desires, goes on accumulating things. You go on spinning possessions around you, you go on keeping things around you. So then you become like a cocoon. You know that silkworm in a cocoon? He goes on building a house around him, that he will live in that house. So when he completes the house, then what do the silk manufacturers do? They pick up that cocoon and they put it in boiling water because they want your house, they do not want you. So the clinging to the house, the absolute cling. That's why it is called. Swami Tejavananda says it is called householder. Householder is he who holds on to the house, who clutches the house, and in the end, very soon, the house is neither his nor anybody else's. He will have to leave it, just as the other people from whom he is snatching it. All the things that you spin around you, you keep on collecting, keep on collecting, keep on collecting, and then in the end, what happens? So you should be very discriminative about this thing. Now, what is the way? What is the hurdle that comes in the way of winning over desires and aversions. There must be a way. If it is from birth, then do we feel disheartened कि ये तो रहेगा, ये तो हो गई? No. Krishna holds out a promise for you. He says that you can go beyond these. You can go beyond these, and he also gives methods of how you can win over these desires. And he says that the desires always make you dance, all the time. So, where from you get the energy to put into these things that he is advising? He is advising karma yoga, japa, upasana, jnana, and satsang. These are the following things because of which it is these alone that help you in not being carried away by likes and dislikes. That your intellect is totally looted away by your likes and dislikes, and you do things that you should not be doing under the sway of likes and under the sway of dislikes. You generally do things that are not noble, ignoble deeds are done by you. So, the only way to bring mental tranquility in your mind and peace, mental poise is these. I repeat again: karma, karma yoga, do your duty selflessly. Then japa, japa should be done regularly. Upasana, jnana, jnana, taking jnana from a teacher, and satsang, any person, whether it's a discussion group or a study group or you are listening to a master, a satsang who talks about the truth or discusses about the truth, that in this entire world of objects, there must be something which is permanent, there must be something which is the truth, there must be something which is not an illusion. And that satsang gives you through jnana. And what do jap upasana do? Karma yoga, jap, and upasana. All these three help to focus your mind, make it single pointed, and gives you mental poise, a purity of mind which gives a mental poise. And when you have that mental poise, even when vikshepas come, vikshepa is disturbance, agitation. So when these vikshepas come, you are able to tranquilize your mind. You are able to overcome them. You are able to go beyond them. You're able to rise above them. They are not able to suck you in and drown you in sorrow. These are the things that help you to stay afloat, right? So this is the, you can arrest the control of your mind. You can arrest the mind, you can control the mind, you can win over agitations, you can win over likes and dislikes. Now, of course, I have told you that the very cause of your body being formed, your embodiment is made out of your likes and dislikes, and that is why he calls it from birth. Okay. So he has Krishna is also, Krishna always gives a solution. So here he has also given you a solution of how you can go above it. Now see this last line: to show then what are the qualifications of those who seek the truth, the following verse is given. येषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ता भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः. But those men of virtuous deeds whose sins have come to an end, who are freed from the delusion of the pairs of opposites and are steadfast in vows, worship me. So he says it is these people who have realized the futility of running after the tinsels of the world, they are the ones who slowly, slowly, with upasana, jap, dhyan, satsang, and karma yoga, they attain a kind of a purity of mind and start doing virtuous deeds. Now, virtuous deeds is service to others, caring for others, dan, punya, and always helping others in trouble, and all those things come under virtuous deeds. So, whose sins have come to an end? Obviously, a person who is doing virtuous deeds, he has, if at all, very minimal, very few sins left in his mind. The impressions in her mind, all the bad impressions of the mind are totally wiped out, they are washed out, and the mind attains a certain purity. And these are the evolved beings. These are not the regular, these are evolved beings. So the personality gets demagnetized, let us call it, from running after objects. Otherwise, what happens? If you have likes and dislikes, you run away from certain objects and you run towards certain objects. Like, like a magnet pulls things, same way they pull you. So your personality gets demagnetized. And the polarities of your personality, polarities of likes and dislikes, end in your personality. So, such a person, you know, slowly, slowly, all the sins, all the ignoble deeds fall away from you. And, you spend your life, that extrovert life which you spent in running after things, you have become an introvert. And you slowly, slowly turn inwards because you have no more interest in running after things. That's why he says, whose sins have come to an end. Sins are basically wrong decisions, mistaken thinking, where you do wrong things without realizing that you are doing wrong. So they are things which a man does at an animal level, ignoble deeds. you know all human beings like you and me have an animal personality. That animal personality in some people is very predominant. They are more close to animals than human beings. Then there is a man who behaves like an ordinary man, sometimes good deeds, bad deeds, and both together. Then there is a very noble person who never does anything wrong or bad deed or never does anything to hurt anybody. But also, slowly, slowly, his animal yearnings, body oriented yearnings end. Otherwise, most of us are at that animal level, body satisfaction being the main aim. So, bodily satisfaction, what is it? Different kinds of food, then sex, body decorations, body massaging, body comfort, all that comes under animal satisfaction, bodily satisfaction. Okay, so those you slowly, slowly rise above. And this passionate animal life of yours that Gurudev calls slowly, slowly gets away from you, and you rise higher and higher to a saintly level. And your thought quality improves. Otherwise, what is your thought quality? Generally, your thought quality is TV, gossip, hmm, films, violence, corruption, food, jewelry, clothes. उससे ऊंचा कुछ होता है? Acquire, 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 and acquire. Some people keep acquiring till their last day. I have seen a person, she was a colleague of mine, who had cancer. And the doctors had said that in a few days she's going to die. And you know what she was fretting over? My spoon. Where is my spoon? That was a special spoon with which I had my food. Where is it? And she created so much of fuss about that spoon. She knew she's going to die. Look at this. Do you see? If you can run after a spoon, I'm giving you a ridiculous example, but there are many. My sari, my bangle, my property, my this. Believe me, all of us, that was a cancer patient. But aren't we all heading towards the same goal? We are all heading towards the same goal of death, where we have to leave everything that is here. So don't give it importance. Yes, if it is your duty, do it, but not undue importance that it makes your life miserable. Carefully. You should see the utility of the thing. Is it giving you more pleasure? Is it giving you more peace? Or is it uprooting peace from your mind? Or it is totally making you so unhappy? Then is that what you want to buy? Think about it carefully. Huh? So this is that your thoughts and actions have to slowly get purified. And purification, I have told you, one of the main things for purifying your mind is service to mankind. You have to think that, am I doing anything for the world around me? Am I doing anything selflessly to improve the living conditions of people around me? Or am I doing anything to give love to somebody, to give peace to somebody, to give joy to somebody, or to lift somebody from their sorrowful existence? Am I doing anything? You have to constantly ask yourself that. And when you do, or when most of us are doing something or the other, for family doesn't come into it. Don't think that I'm doing so much for my family. It is your family, so you are doing it for yourself. Get out of that and do also for others. I'm not saying don't do for your family. Don't please mistake. Do for your family, of course, but take time, take out some time for selfless actions to improve the living of the world around you, to give love, comfort, ease to the world around you. When you do that, your mind will automatically uh, gain punya. And with punya, there is only one effect of punya, and that is the purification of the mind. Your agitations will die down, thought waves will become calm, agitations will go. That is the cleansing of thoughts. When the thoughts are cleansed, then speech is cleansed. When speech is cleansed, actions are cleansed. It is a ladder. Right thinking will make you speak rightly. Only whatever is in your mind comes onto your tongue and your mouth. And when this is pure, then speech becomes pure, actions become pure. It is a ladder. Hmm? So here, this is what you have to be doing. Okay. Now see, all right. Now come to the next verse. So then say, okay, supposing you are asking me to do all this sadhana, okay, I'll do it all. But what is the motive? There has to be a motive. No? Why should I do so much of mehnat, as they say? Why should I work for it, slog for it so much, put so many restrictions on myself, discipline my mind, purify my mind, all that? Why should I do it? What is the gain? Huh? Gain kya mujhe milega? That is the motive. So without motive, you will do nothing. So here it is. जरा मरण मोक्षाय मामाश्रित्य यतन्ति ये ते ब्रह्म तद्विदुः कृत्स्नम् adhyatmam karma chakhilam. So liberation from jara marana. Jara marana mokshaya. From old age and death, you want liberty. This seems like an impossibility. Every being that is born in the world will become old, jara, and will also die. If you are born, you will also die. So, how can Krishna give this motive of jara, marana, mokshaya? This seems to be ridiculous. It has not happened to anybody till date that he is liberated from old age and also from death. Old age, yeah, some people die young, so you will say they are liberated. No, but death comes to them or not? Death has come. Hmm? But here he is asking from liberation from these. Obviously, Krishna is not a fool. Even he knows that if you have taken an embodiment, it is going to be a subject of time. It will decay with time, and also it will go to death, it will go to destruction. So, obviously, he is not talking in the realm of time. There is some other meaning to this. Because death and old age are both a certainty in the realm of time. So obviously he's talking of something else. What is it? He says, see, I'll read the translation. Those who strive for liberation from old age and death, hmm, taking refuge in me. Obviously, he does not mean to say that those who take refuge in Krishna, those who take refuge in the Lord, any Lord picture that you have in your mind, Lord is Lord, whether you call him Krishna or you call him Christ or you call him anything. So, when you take refuge in your Lord, that is the only way for liberation. So, liberation from what? He says old age and death. Now, old age and death. देखिए, in Sanskrit, death is called maran or mrityu, right? Now, the word mrityu, if you go to the Sanskrit dictionary, you will find that one of the main meanings of mrityu is change. It is not death. The meaning of mrityu, even in the entire Hindu philosophy, is change. Change from one embodiment into another embodiment, from one life into another life. So is old age. Old age is also change, isn't it? From youth to middle age, childhood to youth, youth to middle age to old age to death, right? So this is all change. But both these things, as far as the body goes, are in the realm of time alone. Krishna is advising you to go beyond time. The body only is there in the realm of time. So he is not talking about the body over here. He is talking of that which goes beyond the body and beyond time. Now, the question that this chapter had begun with, or was that how can the finite know the infinite? Infinite is beyond time, beyond the realm of time, and we who are the finite are within time. ठीक है ना? So how does one go beyond time? That was the question. Huh? How does one go beyond the corroding effects of time? Hmm? The knowledge of the timeless self is the only thing that is a must, that is a necessity, that is a preamble to going beyond time. When you identify with the timeless Parabrahma, which is you yourself, which is activating your body, which is activating your mind and spirit, which is activating your intellect, Every cell of your body is alive because of that timeless principle of Brahma. Otherwise, it is all matter. And matter is in the realm of time. So the Lord is only asking you to identify not with Sharir Dharma. Sharir Dharma are these six changes, that birth, growth, disease, decay, old age, and death. हाँ? ये षठ विकार, दे आर नोन एज षठ विकार. तो ये षठ विकार हर शरीर का धर्म है. एवरीबॉडी गोज थ्रू दैट शरीर विकार. हाँ, बट यू हैव टू विन ओवर द thraldom ऑफ शरीर विकार. हाँ, षठ विकार. You, they will lose the power to harass you. You will be liberated from the tyranny of the time bound changes. Now, how do you manage yourself? Because it can only be done by what Sadhguru today calls inner engineering. Now, inner engineering is managing your inner self. Outer self will go through change, the body will have to go through change, but inside, the realm of change, you have to don't identify with the realm of change, identify with the change less, identify with the timeless principle of consciousness, which is you yourself. That is non-dual truth, and that is your true identity, the unchanging nature of the self. Hmm? Now, see, Gurudev writes over here that there is a big misunderstanding, big misunderstanding in the misconception about Hinduism is that if you follow Hinduism, it only asks you to leave everything and go to the jungles and live in a realm of your own, in a cave, and also in a self exile where you do not meet your family or anybody else in the society. You live a solitary life of a hermit and also impose all kinds of restrictions on you and live a very frugal life. That is not what it is saying over here. Mentally dropping things so that they do not disturb you is what is the message of Krishna. Learn to win over all your hungers, your appetites, which will, your likes and your dislikes, which will cause the sorrows to you. So you are advised to win over them. So the okay, now then, this is a very psychological point. If you look at it very carefully, you cannot change the world from changing. You cannot change your body and make it permanent. You cannot make health permanent. You cannot make your looks permanent. You cannot live forever physically. Mana? Okay. So then what is it? Psychology tells you that the only realm where you can be permanently happy is your inner self. It's the just see what a deep psychological truth this is. That everything else in the world will change, including your body, because they are time bound. Simple. And the only thing that is not time bound, the permanence of your inner being, the permanence of Brahman, which you are, will remain and will always continue. So identify with that. Realize that you are Brahma itself. You are permanent and you are, that is the only smart way to live. Okay. Next, come to the last verse in this. साधिभूताधिदैवं मां साधियज्ञं च ये विदुः प्रयाणकालेऽपि च मां ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसः. Those who know me with the Adibhuta pertaining to the elements, the world of objects. See, he is explaining Adibhuta to you. That is the physical world of elements and objects. Adi Deva pertaining to the gods, Deva to the gods, Adi Deva pertaining to the gods, the and the sense organs, and the Adi Yagna pertaining to the sacrifice all perceptions, sacrifice of all perceptions. You perceive the physical world as the physical world. Slowly, slowly, when you understand what is illusion and what is the reality, hmm, you slowly, slowly give up, sacrifice the perception of illusion to gain the reality. So, even at the time of death, steadfast in mind, know me. So, maybe not during your lifetime, maybe during your lifetime you have run after things, but during, even at the time of death, if you can understand this reality, even if at the time of death you understand that you are permanent, this body is the only thing, the essence, the truth is permanent. Hmm? Now, see, he asks you to become an upasak. Upasakna, upasak means one who sits near. Upasan, made of two words. Upasana, upasan. That means sitting near. Sitting near who? Sitting near the ultimate reality all the time. That means all the time your mind should be centered on, it should be totally established in the permanent truth, the permanent reality, rather than running after things all the time. And anybody, who can identify with that permanent truth becomes the master of his own mind, and he is the one who becomes a leader of men. He is the one who becomes a prophet. hmm? And that prophet, like Jesus or Buddha or Mahavir or Guru Nanak Dev Sahab, anybody at all who can has a full grip on his mind and understands the nature of reality becomes a leader of men. Now, see, that is why they say that just hold on to him. He says, no, over here, see, uh, here. He says, steadfast in mind, know me. Just hang on to him alone. Leave the rest. If you have surrendered to him and you think that just he is the solution to life, he becomes your easy solution to everything, believe me. Tejo Mananji always gives an example of a little child who was a very naughty, playful sort of a child. That child was not letting his father work on his computer. The father was again and again trying to tell him to sit down quietly, but he wouldn't sit. So his father thought, let me give him something which will occupy him. So there was a world map. He took that world map and he told his son, look at it carefully. So the small child looked at it very carefully, and then he tore it up into 4 5 pieces. And he said, now join the map correctly. So it was like fitting like a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it? So the father thought, okay, now. So the son took it and sat down in one place. Father thought, now at least for half an hour, I am left in peace. This boy came back to him in 2 minutes. So the father said, oh, and it was totally correctly joined, the whole map. He said, how could you do it? He said, oh, that's so simple. Behind the page was the picture, the face of a man, big face of a man. So he just joined that, and that became so easy because he knew where the nose was, he knew where the eyes are, he knew where the. So with the knowledge of the permanent, only one thing you have to stick by. Just like this youngster, he just stuck by that one face rather than so many places and so many countries in the map. So it was a tidy, neat solution, and he brought back that so quickly. Similarly, here, the Lord is telling us that be steadfast in mind and surrender to me, be with me, be poised in me, be steadfast in me, and that will solve your problems. Okay, so we do Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishastu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Jnana Vijnana Yogo Nam Saptamodhyayah. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om.